Welcome back to the Chelsweets kitchen. Today I'm sharing this easy rainbow cake. So rainbow cakes are so fun and they're always so beautiful, but I think as a lot of us know by now, they create so many dishes. You have to color so many different batters and make so many different frostings, and it can really be a pain. So this cake is really fun because it's actually made with only 4 cake layers, so you're not having to make 6 different bowls to make a bunch of different colors. And we're actually going to be making the rainbow with both the cake layers and the frosting. So I was a little bit heavy-handed with that orange frosting there, so I scraped off a bit, but I'm adding a very generous layer of frosting between each cake layer because it's going to be one of the colors in the rainbow and I really want it to show through. I also love frosting, and I think I actually add this much frosting on every cake that I make, but on this cake I actually have an excuse for it. So I'm continuing to work my way up. I started at the bottom with red and orange, now yellow and green, and then next we're going to be adding on blue and purple. So I'm sure by now you've seen that pink cake layer that's sitting on my counter, and no, that's not a mistake. To really complete the look, I wanted to do 4 cake layers, but unfortunately there are not that many colors, so I ended up just adding a pink layer on top. And I'm so curious to see how furious that makes people because they're so particular when it comes to the rainbow. But we did follow the color order of ROYGBV and just added on a bit of pink, so hopefully people will be okay with it. I like to use my bench scraper there just to make sure that my layers are nicely aligned and vertical. And once I know they are, I always add on a really great crumb coat. And crumb coats are so important because they help lock in any crumbs from your cake layers and help you get a really great second coat of frosting. So I smoothed using my bench scraper and then cleaned up the top with my small offset spatula. I let the cake chill in the freezer for about 5 minutes, and once the frosting was firm to the touch, I began to work on my second thicker layer of frosting. Since I wanted to decorate the outside of the cake with a bunch of rainbow frosting, I wanted to have completely white frosting as the base. So I'm adding on a generous second layer of frosting here to completely cover the cake and make sure that you can't see any of those fun layers or that crumb coat peeking through. So getting smooth sides on a cake is always a challenge, and there are a few things that you can do and a few tips that I have to help you get really smooth sides, but it's a long process. So if you want more details on that, you can click the link in the upper right corner. Once my frosting was nice and smooth, I popped the cake into the freezer again to allow it to really chill and firm up. I let it sit in there for about 20 minutes, and you want it to be really firm because as you're spreading this colorful frosting onto the cake, you don't want it to be denting your frosting or giving it kind of a haphazard look, and so it's really great to chill the cake. So I covered this cake with every color of frosting imaginable, and I'm really lucky because I always save leftover buttercream. So a lot of these colors I already had made from other projects, which made this a lot easier. If you don't, I would just recommend putting about a half a cup of frosting in a bowl and coloring them the colors of the rainbow. I also added on some pink because we had pink on the inside, and I think you guys know by now that I always want the outside and the inside of a cake to match. To decorate the top, I'm using this massive French tip. It's an Ateco 869, and it's actually my very favorite frosting tip, so I use it on a lot of my cakes. So I spaced out some dollops on top of the cake, but then felt like it almost looked a little bit bare, so I decided to fill in between the existing dollops just to really give it an over-the-top look. And just like that, our easy rainbow cake is complete. So now it's time to cut in and see the rainbow on the inside. So ironically, I decided to use a pink knife to cut into our rainbow cake just because we did add pink to it. But I really love the way the cake looked in the end. I thought it was so stunning, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So thanks so much for watching. If you guys want to recreate this cake, the recipe is up on chelsweets.com, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.